If it's an English player in July of 2025, and it's turn 1 and nothing happens, no fighter is dropped, no rush infantry or nothing weird, especially if there's a credit order that plays, like a boom order, you know it's commandos. The only two UK decks out there really right now are the Sherwood Forest ones, the ones that try to route your units and stuff up your deck with them, or Commando. This one's obviously Commando. So the trick you want to do is put down as many high health units as possible, especially if you can set up ones that are buffing your HQ for later. The F-190 is a really great unit actually to deal with this. I switched my fighter out for the this Focke-Wulf recently. It gives your opponent quite the dilemma. Either they can keep playing orders so you damage their HQ, or they have to commit. So actually, believe it or not, Commando Raid does not count as deploying a unit. That last Commando does. So if he hadn't played that last Commando, if he hadn't had it in his hand, I would have done free 4 damage to his HQ. That made him really mad though playing it, so he decided to go all in on his orders, which makes sense, considering he's got 3 Commandos. The problem is he's burned through tons of orders, right? And his hand's pretty small now. He looks like he has 4 cards to my 7. And if I could retaliate and take out these Commandos, like here with Crossfire, that seriously cripples him. He lost one of his normal Commandos and a Commando Raid's, an entire Commando Raid's worth of units there. But he got lucky, he had 2 of them in the hand. That doesn't always happen, but hey, you know, good for him. Luckily though, it's not all bad luck for me. It looks like he doesn't have Protected Convoy, though Royal Research is a pretty close second to effectiveness compared to Protected Convoy there. You can see I'm down to 9 HP. Honestly, by this point, I thought my game was over here. I debated between using the Pack 40 and Suppress, but I decided to go for the gold and a gamble on that. I wanted to see where any unit he plays, it would instantly destroy both of his commandos there, but it didn't seem to work out. So maybe the better move would have been to Pack 40 and Suppress. You see here I'm down to 6. Extremely dangerous playing that, especially with not many other units to draw fire. So the Grenadier there was kind of a, it was a mixed play. It only got one of the 2 commandos. Going for a little more HQ buffing here, and it's smart. Going for the Pack 40 rather than the ROUT is very smart. The ROUT wouldn't have given me extra health in the field to draw away fire from HQ. He's really lucky here. He had all 3 Commando Raids ready to go by turn 7. It's very rare you'll run into something like this. At this point now it's just down to luck. Luckily most of his shots hit my units first. He does a good job blocking me. Only one of my suppressions go through. I was expecting to take out both commandos. Now this is dangerous. He's had extremely lucky draws this game, which is why I'm showing this game. But I get a little lucky here. None of them hit my HQ. I guess you could think that's bad luck. I mean, if one of them hit my HQ, I would destroy them, but luckily between the 2 of them, that would have been 5 damage and would have ended the game, so good luck for me. Now, even still, I'm not out of the woods here. The remaining commandos can do a ton of damage and take out my HQ in 1 turn. I get a little bit of extra health. Pack 40 is a must. You have to take out the commando so he doesn't destroy my Grenadier Regiment. And this is luck too. If he hits my HQ, I think that's 3 damage a pop, maybe even 4. Let's see. Yeah, he suppresses the Grenadier. That's 3 damage. So if he had just more orders, he could have taken out my units and my HQ. But that's where the Grenadiers come in. I can retreat that unit that's buffing up his other commando there. Play a guard, and fire on his commando. He only has 1 order there and a routed infantry unit, so the game's pretty much over here. He's stalled out. This shows the power of the turn 2 lost tech here, though. He had the best possible luck. And I made a few mistakes, and it still results in a win. If you're confused about the surrender, he'd stalled out. He ran out of cards. I was gaining board advantage. It was over. This game is the opposite of the previous one. It's where the Grenadiers actually works as intended. It's early game, I don't have any units I can play. Free French Navy at least gives my HQ a little bit extra health, which is going to come in really handy later, especially against these Commando decks. I want to give him the impression I'm a rush jack, so he overcommits now and doesn't do any more credit ramp cards. Doesn't try to boom his economy. It's a little bit of extra health in the field too to draw away fire. He takes the bait and commits. 2 deployed commandos, not commando raid. He goes for all 3 actually. I think that's his deck's full complement. Luckily the unit there took, I think, yeah, 2 out of 3 shots from the commandos. And I retaliate with routes. There's only enough for 2 out of 3, but still, that's a serious blow. Three damage to the HQ. I go straight for the Grenadiers rather than the Pack 40. I know he's played all of his units, so he only has orders in his hand there. So no matter what, he has to trigger the order, which gives the Grenadier a chance to destroy his units. He goes for a draw, and bad luck for him. I take out both of them, and he immediately surrenders. That game felt like I was playing a rush deck, not an attrition deck. What went wrong in this game? I can't figure out why I lost. This deck is designed, it's engineered from every possible angle to fight commandos, and I struggled. Can you tell me where I went wrong? Did I have bad draws? Did he have good draws? Is my deck badly designed? Am I going to lose on turn 2? Give me your thoughts, I really want to know this. This game was a struggle. Judging by his card back though, I think that's the card back when you're in the top 100 or 200 for Officers Club. So this is a serious player. CUIRASSIERS is a great opening here. Early health in the field, gives a guard, that's also 4. I go long term, put down the Moroccans, I want to get some health. There's no urgency. So far this setup is almost ideal. Have a Moroccans in the field, HQ's at 23. Looks like there's 12 health in the field other than the HQ to draw away fire. I have no complaints. Though he's playing very smart, he understands, if I were playing Commando I would do the same way. He understands this deck is not an immediate danger to his HQ. He's just sitting back, booming his credits, and what he's going to do is he's going to hit me with a decisive wave of orders. Even though I'm well set up now, it looks like it's 7, 14, 19 health worth in the field right there. This is devastating though. He was lucky he has wave after wave and that takes out most of it. There's now only 4 health in the field. I go now for JÄGER, it triggers the Moroccans. Has a little bit of extra field to draw away fire. Not the ARADO though. I'm worried about mass removal. And I want to maintain a little bit of draw. Again, smart. He's comfortable. He knows he can go for credit boom. He's smart enough to understand that I'm not a rush deck, which most of the time I try to trick these Commando players into thinking I'm a rush deck so they panic and commit early. He's not. Very smart. I'm very happy here, actually. The second RMT triggers and those two Jaegers get much stronger. HQ is now at 29. I'm feeling very confident. Finally, I get him to do the first Commando raid on turn 8. Or maybe it's turn 7. You get the point, though. I'm not even worried now, though. That's only 2 Commandos. I think, okay, I can take it. HQ health is at 29. I've got a ROUT, an ARADO, a Suppression, and Capitulation all waiting. Plus a 1st Grenadier Regiment. This should be ideal. At a minimum, though, what I'm doing is causing him to think. This is the problem, though, here. This second Commando raid. That's 4 Commandos. Though he doesn't have a lot of credits left. That's a lot of protected convoys. I see what's happening now. 2 Commando raids. Protected convoy after protected convoy. I lose all units. HQ's down to 18. I have no choice here. I fire off Capitulation. That's really strong. Now his entire support line is full. He has to move them out to make room for more Commandos, but the downside is, versus playing the 1st Grenadiers, is that there's nothing to draw away fire from my HQ. And it's only at 14 health. So maybe the 1st Grenadiers would have been the better move. This is textbook, 10 health to draw away fire from my HQ. Grenadier will destroy Commandos. Everything should be fine. That was the right play here. He can bring down that 1st Grenadier, and all it will take is 1 Commando raid to end that unit or a direct hit. And he still has 6 credits remaining. Very powerful turn. I'm breathing a sigh of relief there because he keeps drawing, so I think he must have no follow-up. I get greedy here. I go for the JU-188. I figure he's already used so many Commando raids, he's drawing, he must have nothing to go off of it. Though for extra protection, I play the ARADO to draw away some fire. And I figure that's a lot of HQ pressure, I want him to panic. He's actually at 16. In theory, it'd only take 2 turns to deliver a knockout blow. But he has the 3rd Commando raid already. Plus the follow-up with that Fury unit and protected convoys. It's just devastating. That's why I played the ARADO. He has 3 credits left and the bomber is still up. Two credits, the bomber's still up. There the luck runs out. Bomber's gone, down to 13 health on the HQ. It almost seems like he has like infinite Baker Street irregulars there. That was just a brutal turn. 5 health, 3 targets I need to take out. I think now surely he must be finished. I think that was all 3 Commando raids. His support line is full. But then I miscalculate. There's another Commando raid. Three health on the HQ, plus a ton in the front line. I play Enigma. Draws here are good. I got first Grenadier coming. I can route his commandos in the back line. I can make it work. That's 6 health worth of guards he has to break through. And he has 8 attack. Even though this is turning out to be a loss, I'll say one good thing about my deck here. I made him fight for it, enduring 4 Commando raids and multiple commandos generated by Baker Street Brothers. It's turn 12. Lesser decks would have folded under this pressure. Even though it's becoming a loss, he had to endure a mountain of abuse just to get there. This game, I think this match is more than 10 minutes. Jeez, it looks like it's, yeah, it looks like it's just over 10 minutes. He paid for it. Yet another Baker Street Irregulars. Luckily, he's still not hitting my HQ. But so many protected convoys. He lands hits on my HQ and it's over. What happened here? Why did I lose this game? Tell me in the comments. I forgot to turn off my music here while I was recording. Enjoy listening to the weird stuff I've got going on in the background. If you're nice in the comments and you don't bully me, I'll tell you the name of the songs. Lucky to have the CUIRASSIERS like that so early in the game. He's not falling for it. He knows I'm not a rush deck. Still free HQ damage is free HQ damage. Turn 4, here he comes. Pack 40 is the right call, more health in the field. Pair that with a route. I don't move the guard up, I want to keep it as alive as possible. I don't want him using the route to destroy it. It exists to draw away commando fire. First commando raid, there we go. Turn 5. Keeping it at a good pace here, it's only 2 at a time. Also get very lucky here, units are taking most of the fire. Still above 20. Pack 40 and route. 2 more commando raids to go. That first Grenadier is a great placement. Hey, thanks for subscribing, TPPCRPG. Second Commando raid. He's got a lucky suppression there, so the Grenadier's not going to help me. Luckily he doesn't play any buff cards, so I have Crossfire here. But also, Rout and Suppression would have worked fine too. But if you have an opportunity to use Crossfire against a Commando deck, go for it always. Usually they have those cards that increase the health of their Commandos and it becomes useless very quickly. You have to use it when you have a chance. Go for the Bomber, create some urgency. And a Jaeger, draw away some fire. If the Bomber's in the field and I can suppress, it'll give me more draws too. You can see most of these games are formulaic. This deck is designed to punish and abuse these Commando decks. Just wait for the routes and suppresses. Put a Grenadier where possible. I decided to put down the ARADO. I want as many targets as possible to divide up the Commandos. He really doesn't like that Bomber. It's making him panic. He's going for fortification. He doesn't seem to have Commandos either. That's what happens when you survive 2 waves of Commando raids. More often than not, they stall out. I love that Bomber, it's so great. It creates so much urgency. If you are actually allowed to use it, it does end their HQ, and it's just a sink for orders because it's so strong. They fire order after order after order against it, trying to stop it, and it pairs so well with the second RMT. Down to 17 health. It's got 3 operation cost too, so if you have the Moroccans, that's 3 health for your HQ. Now this is such a sight to behold. Wave after wave comes great, but he wasted a protected convoy with no units in the field, and I still have the second RMT and the Bomber hanging on at 1 health. That 6 health is just such an advantage. Six damage now, 2 health. Go for the Panther, that can't be targeted by orders. I don't know, should I play the Focke Wolf or should I have gone straight for the HQ? My logic at the time was that I wanted as much health in the field as possible, especially after he's already used wave after wave. Though 6 damage to his HQ would have created a massive urgency, especially because I already had that other tank, I could have played that fine. That's a lot of health in the field. If they survive though, next turn that's potentially 11 damage to his HQ. Not including second RMT buffs. He lets it go. By this point I think he's just given up and he's mad. HQ destruction. On to the next one. Standard Commando deck, though. This is quite the blunder. I would not play Protected Convoy on turn 1. Only play that when you have Commandos in the field. Ideally at least 4 or 3. I think these Commando players are getting complacent. Say what you will about Japanese intel, They started to adapt. They've learned. They figured out to incorporate those smokescreen bombers. They've focused a little bit more on rush units, and they try to hide that they're an intel deck. These Commando players are lazy, playing Protected Convoy on turn 1. They're too used to easy wins, so they don't think about the mechanics of move by move. That's what happens when you become complacent. He doesn't seem to be worrying like, wow, look at this sluggish French deck. I'm just gonna fire orders and wreck this guy. He's probably worried more so about rush units and rush decks out there. He probably was happy here at the beginning of the game, not seeing any rush units pressuring his HQ. Oh great, I can take my time. Little does he know, this is the most tedious deck in the whole game to play against. If you're playing Commandos, it tortures them. Take your time. That was a waste of suppress. That guard isn't really important. It's easily replaceable, especially if you know anything about French deck composition. Using it on the Moroccans would have been better. Not to mention, I doubt he has any, like, blitz fighters or anything that would justify getting rid of that guard. If you're running Commandos, it doesn't matter if their HQ is guarded or not. What matters is, have you developed your support line with Commandos, and do you have cheap orders ready? Though this match is a little bit longer and a little bit more difficult. Do you want to know why? It's because he's not playing the cookie-cutter Commando gimmick deck. He tried a little bit of different things in here. I see the extra draw unit. He's got the guard that increases the cost of orders. Bonus points for some originality. It's still got the Commando deck deeply embedded into the very bones of his deck, though. When you have a gimmick, and I understand why people are pulled this way, you pretty much have to completely subsume yourself and just give in to the gimmick, because, you know, you can't just put one toe in there. If you're relying on a gimmick, you have to commit all the way, or don't at all. Either build a balanced, versatile deck, or go all in on a gimmick. There's no real middle ground between the two, at least in my opinion. First Commando raid. It only had 3 credits to follow up, and I have so much health in the field, it's really just not a threat. This is where, for example, suppressing that guard was just a total waste. It's in the front line. The Moroccans are still up. It's expensive, but I have to go for one of them. Jagdpanzer IV, it's fun, you get a lot of enjoyment out of destroying the enemy cards in their hand, but it's a little dangerous against Commando decks because what it does is it gives them more orders. A zero-cost order at that, that's exactly what they want. A zero-cost order that gives them another credit. Ideally, you don't want to play into their hands. Pun intended. And here is yet another gimmick. He is also, in addition to being Commando, he's running the 123. I don't know if this game can take two cheap gimmicks at the same time. Hey, what's that quote from Star Wars? What is going on? Now there are 2 of them! 2 gimmicks! I go for the bomber. Clog up the front line. He only has 1 Commando. I'm not concerned about his HQ getting more defense. I can match him in that department. Take your time. I'm not going to edit that wait out because I want this video to be more than an hour long. Just so the title can be 1 hour of abusing Commando decks. He took so long, literally the clock is going to stop him. He must have analysis paralysis. He does not like that bomber. Okay, my orders are back. He overdraws himself and loses a commando raid. That's what you get for trying to play so many gimmicks in the same deck. I mean, if I had done that with my overdraw deck, I would be leaping out of my chair cheering right now, and he did it to himself. You don't need 2 of those draw units. Interesting card, I'd never seen that one before. HMS Formidable. Fights all enemy units in random order. For some reason it didn't fight my bomber, though. I don't know why. It doesn't say ground unit. If anybody has an explanation for that, let me know. Oh no, my orders. It's weird. So the double guards that make orders more expensive, those are great against other commando decks, but he's also playing commando. The second bomber. What is going on? No, there are 2 of them. Twice, both on his side and my side. I can see this game as a joke, even though it's competitive. He's not taking it seriously, I'm not taking it seriously. Just what you needed, more overdraw. What are you doing? He overdrew the 123. No, I mean, that said, 7 damage right up in front of my HQ. That's dangerous, but yeah, you gotta control your draw, man. It's kind of like, you know, when you're taking a really nice girl home, you gotta control your overdraw. Overdrawing is extremely inconsiderate. No deployment effect, that's fine. Oh no, more expensive orders. It's, you know, it's great and all, you're keeping my my crossfires expensive, but I have 2 JU-188s in the field. Rather than focusing on shutting down my orders, shut down the bombers. Great, suppress, it still does 5 damage. This guy is the king of overdrawing and running out the clock. His timer runs out and he overdraws his hand. Alright, those are good plays. Obviously, there are some really strong units on the field now. Bomber is a serious threat. I have to take that seriously. Honestly, if I were him, I would just walked up those infantry units that are super powerful. Rather than, like, doing these spectacular buffing sprees. Extra draws. Now it only does 2 damage, there's no fury. Those bombers are safe. Great carpet bombing. Both of my bombers are still up. Okay, now it took 2 of his mass removal cards to get rid of those bombers. And not only did he, now he's fatigued his deck. I think I'm gonna play that clip from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
You did some sloppy work. Some damn sloppy work.
How do you get into fatigue as a British Commando player? Very bizarre. He has a million orders, so King Tiger is sensible here. No immediate danger, he's only got weak trash in the front line. Can't wait next turn to ruin his cards with that tank. He's now on 3 overdraw. Sorry, fatigue. Now this is serious. He's got bombers coming, the AVRE retreated everything, I'm overdrawn. That's 14 damage, 16, 17 damage in the front line. Gotta think carefully about what to do here. For 2 crossfires, that was very ineffective. What would you have done in that situation? 4 fatigue now. What a bizarre game. Still counts as commandos, though. Back with more commando abuse. You keep coming back for it, I keep coming back for it. Everyone seems to like it. You seem to like me playing ROUT, Pack 40, and French Guards over and over. This is the gameplay you come for.
Hey Braz, can you upload more videos of you playing the CUIRASSIERS and then ROUT?
Honestly, the early game against commandos is so boring. When I'm recording these, I literally just go check my phone and read comments on my channel. It's the same thing. It's always war bonds on turn 4. It's the same thing every time. And I do the same thing every time. How many times have you seen this almost exact deck composition? Sometimes, or sorry, not like deck position or board position. There we go. Finally, board position. Except this time he's doing a little better than the previous guys. Moroccans is suppressed instead of the guard. Good job there. Probably not going to be enough though. Ten credits on turn 5 is impressive, though, takes the bait. If he wanted to, he probably could have ignored me for another turn or two. It's dangerous to play that Fury, unit so early. I've got units that can absorb the fire, and it's easy to hit with Suppress. That one is better used late game. First wave of commandos down. The HQ is smarter. Make him spend the credits. Only one commando this time. It's dangerous to burn so many orders with only one commando in the field. Again, commando players, I hate to give you advice, but if you see a guy with only 2 Moroccans in the back line, wait a turn, build up your strength again. Don't blow orders suboptimally like that. Would you guys have used the Grenadier to rout the commandos, or would you have played the first Grenadiers? Tell me below. He already burned one suppress, so it made me think it was safe to do that. Seems to be, he's lost another commando. I wonder what he's doing here. Usually commando players go for radar. Is he going for the pin one or Bletchley Park? Which one? Second RMT is so sensible here. Pairs with the Moroccans, 3, and also, if it survives, that first Grenadier is going to get stronger and stronger every turn. Bletchley Park. Bletchley, sorry. You almost never see that card, so I never get a chance to read it and learn how to pronounce it. One commando. One commando with only 3 credits left. Suboptimal. Commando players, if there's no immediate danger in your front line or from bombers or fighters, don't overcommit like this. Two credits at the end of his turn wasted, and it got buffed by the second RMT. Now, watching this now, the best move would have been to move the Moroccans in the back line there to the front line, and then played another Grenadier regiment. I guess I was nervous about board clearing. Oh, Bletchley Park! Here's the problem with that card, though. It's only 5 or less, so, guess what? The first Grenadier is still up there. Yeah, I should have played it so I had 2. Play the Moroccans. This hand, this deck has a little bit of a card strangle aspect to it. They want to deny you cards and ruin your draws. That order is very expensive, though. The commando decks that integrate MI5 tend to not do well. It's just too expensive. It's better to just double down on the gimmick, not focus on ruining their hand, and just do as many protected convoys and cheap orders as possible. He seems to have learned his lesson, though, from like the last 3 commando squad wipes. He's really nervous to play more commando units now because of the first Grenadiers. Because he played Bletchley Park, though, the suppression on the Moroccans, maybe it was suppressed, maybe it wasn't, I can't remember. Anyway, either way, I have 2 Moroccans up now. Okay, here comes the commando. He's ready. He's ready for round 3. See if he can beat my first Grenadiers. Nope. Gone again. Just wait until you can do a commando raid, and with that other commando that does 2 damage instead of 1. Or wait till you get another suppress. There's no immediate danger here. I would understand one thing if I had the JU-188 out, but I don't. It's one fighter. It's got 2 damage. Even there, pinning the fighter would have been better. A whole turn worth of orders that was not triggering commandos. That's a death sentence to anybody that's a commando player. Second RMT is back now. Trigger 2 Moroccans, HQs up to 32. I would surrender at this point. As soon as you see a commando player go through an entire turn, let alone, you know, 2 or 3, with firing orders and no commandos, it's over. The game's over. Ah, there's the suppress you finally wanted. The HQ's too strong, there are too many units in the field. There's only 2 commandos, this isn't gonna work. I had so many options here. I could have cleared a spot for first Grenadiers. Let's see, yeah, so one's destroyed. I have room for both. I could have done both. Capitulate makes more sense, though. And a crossfire to clean up. Good hygiene is to do crossfire after the capitulation. He surrenders. It's funny, right? Not the turns of wasting orders, it's the capitulation that makes him to surrender. Capitulation is not the reason you lost. Get ready now for a Wunderwaffe Commando Smackdown. Commando Abuse. Wunderwaffe Edition. Always play the VOLKSGRENADIERs. They make your jets come 1 turn earlier every time you play it. This game is important to include because this shows how commando decks react to HQ pressure. They react differently. It's kind of like studying a species of wildlife. They react differently to HQ pressure decks versus my French commando one. You see, it's turn 3. When have we ever seen a turn 3 commando from these guys in this video so far? Why? Because it's an HQ deck. I don't have a jet, so I fire production off. I want to get as much HQ damage as possible for when I do eventually draw a jet. Look at all those orders wasted, and I'm still doing damage to his HQ. Though to his credit, he's only at 20. I haven't made much progress bringing down his HQ's defense. More orders being wasted. It is so nice to see a protected convoy trigger with no commandos on the field. If those PANZERGRENADIERs trigger, I'm gonna have a really fun turn. A lot of extra credits. I swear this guy's wasted half of his orders. Still no jet. There's the jet, finally. I got my hand as small as possible to get the most out of Enigma. Though, realistically, it looks like I could win this conventionally. The jet deck has a pretty mediocre rush component to it. The main gimmick is, well, the jet and the Wunderwaffe. It's a bad sign if you lose to the conventional forces in this deck. Only one commando, that's some bad luck. Let's see, 6 damage, he has 12 health, 6 plus the, pack 40, that's 8, not enough, so it does need the jet to win. It would have been close though, gunship mission would have brought it down to 2. Maybe on the second turn I could have won conventionally. On to the next one. You've made it this far into the video, thank you. In compensation, you deserve some relaxing Wunderwaffe video of crushing commandos. We like the mechanics of the French deck, don't get me wrong, but it's a little tedious. I mean, the objective is to make it tedious for the commando player, but of course every time you do that, there's a little bit of blowback to you. I know some of you guys only care about winning. Winning's the only important thing, but let's have some fun too. Not really good draws here on the first turn. It would have been nice if I had a VOLKSGRENADIER. That unit there is important for my draws. It's very vulnerable early in the game, but these are commando players, so of course they're not going to do anything about it. I have to get to war bonds! They're just following a script and playing solitaire. Oh, this one's reacting a little bit differently. So the last guy panicked and overreacted and played commandos early. He's ignoring my frontline pressure. Every player is different. Some of them overreact to my slow-moving French deck. Some of them ignore my rush deck and HQ pressure. So I have the Turpits here. That's almost useless. Mostly commando players deploy their units by order. They don't actually deploy them. Gunship Mission 2 can be used anytime. That's guaranteed HQ damage. It's much better when you can to spend your credits developing your board presence, getting into the front line. So you got really lucky here. One tank is pinned. The other one has 0 damage now. And I lost my extra draw. Though I'm telling you, MI5 is just not a good match for these commando decks. VOLKSGRENADIER, exactly what I'm talking about. Jet is now out on turn 5, doing damage to his HQ, and his first commando is suppressed. Down to 12 defense. You can tell though, he's not panicking, he's not overreacting. Watch how he handles my jet. The suppression here is brilliant. It's now up to 6 operation cost. Way too expensive for this HQ pressure deck. And he takes the front line to block. But unfortunately for him, I have 3 of the jets in my hand. That's a little unlucky. Not a little unlucky, that's extremely unlucky. So in theory, between the 2 of them, that's a death blow on the next turn. Again though, he keeps it cool. Watch how he controls the situation. 1 jet down. He's hoping to get the conventional kill, and he gets it. So the Turpits and the gunship mission would bring him down to 1 health. That's not quite close enough. The jet prototype is better than the Comet because it has board presence and can take commando fire away from my HQ. My HQ is low now. But anyway, after that jet strike, 3 in a row, unlucky for him. Now even the gunship mission could win the game. As long as I survive this turn, I will win. Again, he's keeping it under control though. It's pinned. In theory, if I had no jet here, he might have won. And now his HQ's back up to 5. The comet alone is not enough to destroy it. I'm down to 6. Close game. Gunship mission. And Tirpitz. How does it feel to lose to orders, huh, Commando player? How does it feel? On to the next one. Back to French. Protected Convoy turn 1. I don't agree with that. Some Commando players seem to like that, though. If I were playing my Overdraw deck, this would seriously endanger him. I have a very bad opening hand here, though. Nothing really to play on the early turns. I go for the Jaeger Regiment. Least I can do is try to trick him into thinking I'm a rush deck. Though that may backfire, because if he reacts to it, I have no follow-up. But nope, he's on the Warbond script on turn 4. Protected Convoy turn 1, Warbonds turn 4. Not taking the bait at all. Second RMT, that'll make the Jaeger stronger if it survives. Big ask. Here comes the Commandos, turn 5. With a Commando raid, he's got 3 in the field, 3 credits. Strong showing. And I don't have many units to take the damage. So we have a disparity here on draws in the early game. The protected convoy on call is just really bad luck. Lose the second RMT and then another protected convoy. Just devastating to the HQ. Only move here is the first Grenadier. I guess I could have routed 2. Still, even with 1 Commando and more potentially coming, that's so dangerous. Two out of 3. Unlucky here. At least I survive. I'm down to 6 health, though. Unfortunately, that unit cannot be Panzergrenadiered. It's 5 credits. I'm hoping I can rescue that first Grenadiers and bring its health up with the second RMT. Very unlucky. He gets a strike on the first Grenadiers there. Take out his Commando. Now I'm in danger of losing that first Grenadier. I have to go for capitulation. Doesn't really solve the problem though, because he can attack into that Grenadier with the routed troops, and then do one of those pin cards that does 1 damage, or a Commando raid, and it's gone. Still, I found that preferable than letting him salvage it. It sucked to lose capitulation like that so early. At least he's firing many orders with no commandos. I have to get some health in the field, so I throw down that Grenadier. At least it'll get stronger from the second RMT. Overdraws himself, but nothing major. Cup of Tea is very replaceable. Here comes Commando Raid down to 1 health. Good luck there, I get both, but I'm down to 4 health on the HQ now. And I haven't drawn any HQ healing cards this entire game. Second Commando Raid, he's lucky to have 2. First Grenadiers are gone. And I just watch helplessly. If he gets enough strikes on my HQ, the game's over. Very bad draws in this game. No HQ healing at all. 1 health remaining. Finally, a draw Moroccan. Panzergrenadier, though, is only 1 extra health. I can route the other one, though. That Commando is very deadly. Gets a lucky shot, though he probably would have gotten it eventually on the HQ. That's why it's important to stay humble. You know, Commando decks are, even with the deck geared against them, you're not unbeatable. It's still possible for them to win if the stars align for them, if you get unlucky for you. I don't want to present these decks as perfect in every way. You're not going to have a 100% win rate, even against Commandos. Anyway, I'm so happy for all of you who stayed with me for the full hour of this video. That's very generous. Thank you so much for being generous with your time. Shout out to my members. There are 2 of them now. What? There are 2 of them! Let me go, check this out here. Thank you, Random Tank 12 and Paul Panzer. If you want to come on the members of the channel, join up. You get shout-outs, early access to videos, special attention on live streams, access to Braz IRL content, and deck reviews. I'll see you there. In fact, members got to see this video a whole day early. You want to be one of them. Trust me. Bye for now.